I'm pretty sure it's starving for fuel. It's not pumping very much. As soon as I try to give it some throttle, it's dying. So I think it's got enough fuel on idle, but it just doesn't have enough fuel. So the main jet's probably plugged up. Off comes the carburetor. First I got to air this place out. It's smoky in here. All right, I've done a few things here and there to get everything back together and rolling, and end up we're gonna have to pull this carburetor apart. So I got 4 screws out of it, just move the linkage out of the way. We're gonna pull this out, and the float should be attached to this. Yeah, there it is, giant float. Oh yeah, there was some junk in there, because when I tipped it over to dump it out, all the garbage went to the top here. So let's get that out of there. It's gonna go in the ultrasonic cleaner. Float's not sunk, that's good. Get our needle out of there. I think main jet's plugged up because it does idle okay, but as soon as you try and give it any power and rev it up, it dies out. So our main jet is actually accessible through this plug right here. You can take this plug out and get to your main jet. Just going to give you a little gander down at the top there, though, if the focus ever decides to focus. That's pretty dirty in there. There's our main jet in the bottom there, accessible through that hole, and there's some crud in there. So we're going to get her cleaned out, blown out in the ultrasonic, push some wires through some stuff, because these look plugged up to me. So yeah, some of that loose crud that was floating around at the bottom of that, I'm sure is causing our issue. We're going to dump the whole thing in the ultrasonic cleaner and come back. Oh yeah, I can see the crud in there now already. Let's see if I can get that out. Maybe I can show you. Is it a 5/8er? Yeah, it's a 5/8er. Let's get that off of there. Just focus, for crying out loud. That light is way too bright for the camera. Just focus. Anyways, there's crud in there. Lots of it. You probably see it just sitting at the bottom there. Huh. Gross. Alright, I'll clean it out, put it back together, and we'll see how that works. Alright, carburetor's back together. All the linkage is back on. The air filter's on. The air filter's like brand new in this thing, so I'm not worried about that. It's nice. While I was in there, I decided to go ahead and replace that rubber line that I didn't like between the filter and the carburetor, so that's been replaced. We should eyeball to see how much gas is in this thing, because there was not a lot. And now there's even less. But I can't see. Enough to run it. The hole is covered, so there's enough to run it. Well, let's see what happens. Choke. And oh, I got the exhaust and all the muffler and all that stuff on there too. It's a lot quieter. Let's see what happens. Choke is off. I suspected, that main was plugged. Let's see if we can get the idle mixture a little better. Change the oil. That runs good, but she's sucking air. It's gonna run out of gas. Fuel filter empty. It's sucking air. Well, I think I'm going to put a little more gas in her, and I'm gonna back it outside, let her run for a bit, let her smoke off. Yeah, that should be all right. I did also put the pulley on there on the belt, so it should drive. So yeah, that's all right. Needs a little more gas in it. It's a little, like I said, it's sucking bubbles, fumes, but it does run a lot better now. Yeah, that's the plan. Put gas in it, take all the tools off it, take it outside, let it run, and I think we'll move on to the deck. There's not much to do. Just make sure it's clean and sharpen and balance the blades and take the rope off of the spindles that are all tied around there. That's what we'll do. Okay, so I had the mower running in the backyard for a little bit, running around there and flattening the grass down. It runs beautiful. I actually like those old flathead twins. They sound cool. They got a certain sound to them that only those have, and they work. They got lots of power. Let's get these off. One. Okay, maybe not. That's tight. A rope wrapped around it. There we go. That was tight. Too tight. Blades are actually relatively new. I have checked them for flatness. Oh, the middle one's smaller. Yep, just the middle one's smaller. Get the rope off there. You shouldn't leave that stuff tied around there because it heats up the bearings. That's not good for them. Oh, that's right under that. It's right under it. We might actually have to take that jack shaft out to get the rope out from under it. And there, that one came all the way out. So the two outside blades are longer than the inside blade. That looks nice and flat together. I did check them tip to tip while it was on under the tractor, and everything's golden. These blades are fine. I'm just going to touch them up with a grinder and balance them. Can't leave it like that. I can't leave it like that and sell it, because guaranteed it'll blow a spindle. My luck. Deck's not in bad shape. It's had a patch put in it over there, over here. Nice thick patch, so that should be just fine. So let's flip her over. Get the blades out of the way. Let's flip her over. We'll get that that jack shaft out of there anyway. It's probably a good idea to take the belt off. The belt's in good shape. It's probably a good idea to take it off the pulleys of the spindles and give them a spin. Make sure they're not growly. That's not crazy bad. Looks like it's relatively new, actually. See, this is tight. I can feel it tight, so it's either the rope or the bearing is already going. Belt off. That is growly. That needs a new set of bearings. This we're going to take apart and see why it's tight. So let's get the pulley off. Nut, pulley. These shafts usually drop out the bottom, but I got to get rubber mallet. Looks like we're doing a set of bearings in the far right pulley. Deck's backwards on the hoist, remember? Let's see. Wow, that was easy. Oh yeah. Yeah, there it is. Well, I'm going to call that bearing tight. It's actually burned the seal. I could see the cage for the bearings in there. That needs new bearing. One anyways, for sure. How's the top one feel? The top one feels beautiful. Perfect. Okay, so at this point, we can take this pulley off too, because we know we need to change those bearings. Nut, pulley, shaft falls out. Same situation here. There's a plastic bag tied around this one. That lower bearing is bad, bad, bad. And the upper bearing is growly too. Okay, so that gets a pair of bearings. So let's drive the lower bearings out first. We'll just get a punch and a hammer. Bearings out, spacers out. Get this one out. Bearing and spacer out. There are no grease fittings on these hubs, but the inside of the bearing is open. Huh. Strange. Now, how do these bearings feel? Perfect. That one's nice. Noisy. Well, it's getting new ones. I do not want to do it again, so let's just change them now. That one's out. That one's out. Not a lot of room to swing a hammer under there. Where'd the bearing go? There it is. There's that one. That one. Oh, listen. Awful dry. You know it's not good enough for me to do 4 out of 6 bearings. You know I'm going to have to do all 6. Because that's the way I go. One bearing. These go in very easy from the top. They will find their own home anyways once the spindle shaft and everything goes in there. those just fell in. So now, put the bearing on the shaft. It does go all the way down, nice. We'll put a spacer on it. Up into the bottom of the spindle. Literally tap it in with your hand. So the pulley, the spacer, and the nut, when they all squeeze together, it sets its own bearing gap on the spacer. That's tight enough. Nice quiet bearings. Next, if you're gonna do a pair of bearings, might as well do 3 pairs. Bearings are not expensive. It's already apart, it's already out of the tractor. It's just a couple of minutes more to do them all. And this one. That's that one. Pulley. Nut. Impact gun. Tight. Somebody's got to clean my bench. I can't find squat on my bench. There we go. Got to loop back around the pulley. There we go. Nice. The dragging noise you hear is a brake. There's a brake in there. Spring-loaded brake assembly that applies a brake pad to this pulley to stop the deck when you disengage the blades. So that's that. Belt's still in good shape. I did check the idlers earlier. They're fine. Put our shield back on. Sharpen and balance the blades. Hang it back under the tractor. I don't like pressure washing the deck so much. It usually ends up blowing water into the bearings of the hubs. So a regular garden hose I think would be okay. Unless I was replacing everything, then I could just hit her hard with a pressure washer and blow everything off, and then I'd just replace the bearings after. But anyways, in the home stretch on this tractor, it appears. Still got to get the hood back on there, but that's just a few bolts. That's it. Deck done, other than the blades. Late in the day on a Saturday. Probably call it quits soon. But got a lot accomplished today. We got that replacement engine installed. So the original engine was a 1998. The one we put in there was a 1990. That's fine. Runs good. Runs really good. So should you just fine on this tractor. All right, that's next. Take the deck off the hoist, put the tractor back on. I'm gonna wash it first. I'll wash it outside, then I'll bring it back in. We'll get it all buttoned up. We'll probably close out the video. This last segment is probably gonna be the last one. All right, so let's put this one to bed. The deck is back under. Blades are sharpened and balanced, 6 bearings. I'm just waiting on the deck belt. It was a non-OEM style belt that was on it, 59 inches by 5/8. It's too short. So what's happening is when you go to release the blades to disengage them, it actually drags and the blades keep turning. That's not right. It's unsafe. It's hard on the starter. It's not safe for bystanders. They need to stop when they're supposed to stop, so it needs another belt. I'm going to put a 60 on it. That's that. I did give a little spray bomb there on that primered up patch. It's not the prettiest, but it'll work just fine. Got the hood on. That's good. It was broken up here, so I just put a little piece of flat bar on there, 2 screws or bolts, and it's nice and secure now. Give her a little wipe down with some transmission fluid on a rag. It works. It makes it shiny. They get a little dull. The paint gets a little oxidized, and the transmission fluid brings the oxidation off, and it brings up a shine. So water beads up real nice on it, just like a fresh wax job. Minor things on this. The drive belt from the engine to the transaxle was replaced. Engine swap. Minor. Original one was blown. Valve seat was going for a ride on the valve, so we just swapped out the whole engine. I had another 18 or 18 and a half or whatever the heck it was sitting outside. Choke cable. I think that's it. Oh, the right rear tire needs a tube, so I'm not going to do that on camera. Pop the bead, throw a tube in there, fill it up, put it back on. Donezo. Actually, I'm probably only gonna have to take the tire off, or take the rim off the unit. I'll just jack it up and use some bars and pop the bead. Yeah, actually runs really, really good. Carb clean. What else is there to say? The belt, the tube, it's ready for sale. Thanks for joining me in this video, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you do subscribe, give that bell a dingle. It will let you know when I upload new videos. Until the next one, take care.